In any sport that you engage, you will get injured. Any sport, uh, any competitive sport, you will get injured. It's just a fact of life. Um, you will also get injured just by sitting at a desk job, right? I mean, everything. As when you are very young, you don't really get injured that easily. But as you start aging, you start getting a little more fragile, and you start getting yourself injured a little bit faster. If you don't, if this is the big if you lead a very sedentary life, your rate of injury will be higher than if you lead a not very sedentary life. So this is where we come to maybe weightlifting or doing something, some level of activity, so that you don't get injured that easily, right? So I often hear people tell me that they can't lift weights because they have a bad back. That's like the number one reason why people stay away from these movements, especially the big compound movements, the deadlift, the squat, or the overhead press, and and I believe them. I believe that they have bad back, most definitely, and I am by no means an expert on this, and I've never had any back issues. So I really cannot say I've walked their shoes, because I haven't walked a yard in their shoes, right? So I cannot even begin to gauge the amount of pain that they're going through. Uh, but I know that usually when people refer to a bad back, they're usually talking about the lower back, which is most likely the result of a herniated disc that's pinching on a nerve that's causing a lot of pain, right? And we go back to how do you fix that? Well, I mean, you can get some steroid shots, and sometimes those work, or you can get some surgery, and that's, I mean, basically they go in there and they just shave off your disc a little bit, the bulging part of the disc. They shave it off to alleviate the pinching on the nerves that are really what's causing the pain. It's a crapshoot either way, right? But neither of those two solutions. So your pain is not gonna it's not gonna go away by itself. You still have pain because you got a herniated disc. And I think that if you were to build your back a little bit, strengthen your back, and I'm not saying you start off with a lot of weight in the bar or anything like that, but I'm saying that you start building your back muscles, strengthening them, making them stronger. Those muscles support your lumbar region. They lend support to that region, that they keep your back in line. They keep it, you know, they alleviate some of the pressure that your backbone is carrying, especially if you have a little something on the gut. It's good to have a strong back, because otherwise all that weight goes to your backbone, and that's where you start getting these problems with your back. Mosquitoes are killing me out here. So I would say that anybody that shies away from becoming a little stronger, engaging in weightlifting, I mean, talk to a person that knows what they're doing in the area of weightlifting. Don't talk to your doctor. Your doctor's going to say, don't lift more than 10 pounds, don't do this, don't do that. And your doctor weighs 300 pounds, okay? So, I mean, don't take advice from a guy that's fatter than you about that, or weaker than you, or doesn't really do what you want to do. Talk to a guy that's been there. You talk to a guy that, even a regular guy like me, or somebody that's been doing this for a lot longer than me, they've walked that road already. They've had impingements, and they've had little backs and aches and pains and this and that, and they know how to get around them. And if you go to a doctor in sports medicine, he may have a solution for you that doesn't really tell you to just kind of take it easy and go for an ICC walk. I would say if you have if you have a desire, and the thing that's holding you back is genuine fear of hurting you back further, I would say talk to somebody that knows uh, about these kind of injuries, back injuries, and weightlifting. I mean, somebody that's been through it, right? Most any guy that's been in competitions and this that, they're gonna have something, sure as shit. Because, like I said, any sport. When you talk to a soccer player, they're gonna have meniscus surgery by the age of 40, if that old. They usually end up having surgeries a lot earlier than that, right? Because they're competitive, they're getting kicked, they're putting a lot of stress on their knees, etc. You talk to a basketball player, they're going to have their things. A football player, they're going to have their thing. Everybody's going to have something, right? Anybody who does anything is going to have something. And you go talk to the office guy that doesn't do shit, and that guy also has problems on his back, and they got other host of problems like diabetes and other sedentary problems that are a lot worse than a little back pain. So, just food for thought. I know it's there's no magic pill. There is no magic pill. Uh, Painkillers can only do so much for you, but a strong body can do a lot more for you, I think. I mean, when I was setting up these arms, uh, I'm going to show you this in a video, man. I was setting up this, testing the arms, the catch arms that are those red catch arms that you see right there. And I was goofing around with the bar, and I dropped the bar on the arms when I was on the squat, and I tried to get out from under the squat, so it was kind of low, so I lost my balance and I went back, and I fell. I mean, I rolled back. Again, I mean, I'm okay. Nothing happened. I mean, I didn't hit my head or anything. A little fall like that on a person that's not trained, that hasn't done anything in their lives, may hurt them a little more, right? I've had some really really nasty falls. I mean, I remember last year I was rounding up some cows to vaccinate, and yeah, I was giving them some vaccines at the ranch, deworming, not vaccination, deworming. And I was by myself, working the cows by myself. Again, you should probably shouldn't do this to begin with, but there I was, and I tripped on a stump, and I went flying, and I landed on my left shoulder. Boom, just like Superman. Just did not even put my hands up. I just landed straight on my shoulder. I was winded. I mean, I knocked the wind out of me because it was a hard fall. But I got up, and I got up and I kept on working. And I didn't have any broken ribs, any bruised shoulder, nothing. I was just winded, and that was it from the impact. And I attribute that to at the time I was working out, also the same routine that I'm doing here. So I attribute that to having a little extra muscle in your body to insulate you from breaking something. Right now, you saw me kind of roll back. Again, I mean, since a very young age, I did martial arts. So, I mean, we practice falling back thousands of times. And, every time you fall back, always keep your chin to your chest so that your neck doesn't go whipping around and your head hits something, right? I mean, it's instinctive for me. Uh, it's just built in memory. And even now I'm 51, I haven't done that in 30 years. It's still in me. I've taken other falls in the snow here and the ice when we have ice storms. And same thing. I mean, I've never really hurt myself badly. Knock on wood, knock on wood. But I think that if you make it a point to be a little stronger, a little less fragile, you can get a lot of health benefits that will surpass a little discomfort in your back. I don't think lifting a little weight is going to make your back problem any worse. It probably has more up potential than down potential. But anyway, just put this out there for you guys. I mean, to each his own, and I mean, I'm not trying to get anybody to do this because ultimately it's up to you. Uh, but I do think that hard hard activity, hard physical activity makes you stronger. Whether you're working, moving logs around, or just doing weights, or you're gonna get stronger. But if you just kind of sit around thinking that you have a back issue, you're just gonna get weaker. Anyway, last time I mentioned the book that I wanted you to read. Taleb Nassim, I think is the name of the author. He's from the Levant region, Beirut, I think, or I think Beirut or Lebanon. Lebanon. I think he's from Lebanon. Yeah. And he's written a few books. One of them is called The Black Swan, amazing book. The other one's called Antifragile. I highly recommend you reading those books. And coincidentally, Taleb was also a student of Starting Strength. Very, very ironic, right? And I don't know if that was before or after he wrote his book Antifragile. But that book Antifragile, I mean, you should read it. It is amazing. And it's not about weightlifting. It's not about exercise. It's about building resilience in your life to be the opposite of fragile, right? So he just calls it anti-fragile. But anyway, I'll leave you with that. Until next time, folks.